Hi everybody, thanks for pressing play on the video today. It's Caroline here from craftycarolinecreates.com. Here is today's project, which is this cute little gift box tied with a lovely bow. And this is hand stamped using the Quilted Christmas suite. I think this is called Christmas Quilt. And the Quilt Builder framelit. I don't know why I can't say those words today. It's got a nice little chamfer. It's a good size, 3x3. I think, yeah, 3x3 by 3/4 of an inch deep. And if we open it up, it's also got a little bit of a wow factor inside. So the lid just hinges up like that. And then inside we've got a little bit more of a wow factor with a nice little patterned compartmentation. You know what I mean. Some little compartments. I can't talk today, okay? So I'll stay away from the big words. I think it needs a little bit of something like a sentiment. I was going to, this is the word peace from the Christmas quilt stamp set that I just stamped and cut out with one of the stitched shapes, but it just looks a bit big to my mind on the front there. So I may have a play around with it, see a way of getting some sort of sentiment, but at the moment I just popped a pearl on there. But now we will go ahead and I will show you exactly how we made the box. So we're going to start with some scoring and bring in my trusty scoreboard. You need to start with 2 pieces of designer series paper. I've got garden green and real red, and these measure, this one measures just a smidgen bigger than 4.5 inches, and then this one measures 4.5 inches, a smidgen more again. So if you want to be precise, this probably measures 4 9/16 by 4 9/16, and this one probably measures 4 5/8 in both dimensions. I'm going to start by scoring them on all 4 sides at 3/4 of an inch. Oh, went a bit off there. 3/4 of an inch, 3/4 of an inch, and 3/4 of an inch. Again with this one, we're going to do it at 3/4 of an inch, 3/4 of an inch, 3/4 of an inch, and lastly again 3/4 of an inch. Okay, put those to one side. Excuse me, this cold will not go away. Then you need 4 pieces of designer series paper. This is the matching quilted Christmas DSP stack, and these measure 3x3, so you can obviously get 4 of them out of 1 piece of designer series paper from the stack, because those are 6x6 pieces. And we're going to store this, again, you've guessed it, at 3/4 of an inch on all 4 sides. So the scoring is pretty straightforward. Just need to remember 3/4 of an inch on all 4 sides. Okay, and you remember you need to do this 4 times. You can use 4 different patterns, you can use 4 of the same. I'm going to use 2 different patterns. Put my scoreboard away, and we can start by this bit as we have it, and we're just going to fold and burnish all 4 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then very simply we're just going to cut up in each corner, so we make a little flap. It's a very simple box making. Okay, and then just notch those out slightly. And the last one here. There we go. Okay, and then to build this up, all we're going to do now, we're doing it a little bit different. Normally if you make a box, you put fuse or adhesive on the underside and you glue it up like that, so you get a nice corner that side. But we want to glue this flap on the other side, because when we look down at it, we want it to look nice and neat, so we don't want to see that flap stuck on there. So we are going to put fuse on the pattern side that we want to see when we open our box. On each of our flaps that we've just made, we're just going to put a little bit of fuse. Excuse me. Ooh. A little bit of fuse on each of these corners, like that. There we go. And we're going to fold these up. And remember to stick the flap on the outside of the box, and that way you will get a nice look as you look down. Okay, and there is our little box, and these measure 1.5 inches square, and as I said, you need to do that 4 times. So here's some that I prepared earlier. So I've got 4 of these little boxes that are going to go inside my bigger box, just like that. Okay, then we're going to bring in our other 2 pieces of cardstock. Now our red one is going to be our base, so let's do that first. Again, fold and burnish those score lines that we have just made. And there we go, last one coming. And scissors. And we are ready to then notch out each of the 4 corners. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then just notch those out like that. So this is at this stage exactly the same as we did with the little insert boxes. Okay, and this time we are going to build it up like a traditional box, so these are going to go inside. So we're going to fold the flaps over that we've just made, and then the fuse is going to go on the underside. Okay, voila, and there is our box base and our box lid now, which is our garden green piece. Again, fold and burnish all those score lines. And the last one there like that. And then we're just going to notch these out on 2 sides, so any 2 corners cut up and notch out just like you did before. Okay, and then on the other 2 corners we are going to cut off those squares completely, so it's a little bit different to what we're doing on the lid. Okay, and now what we are going to do is we're going to cut from this corner to the other diagonal end there. So let me just show you. So from this corner here, diagonally across there. Now you can, if you want to, draw that out on, you can draw a line to help you, but I find that if you just go straight with your scissors, you can generally do it quite quickly by eye. So that's 1, and then on this side again, do exactly the same, like that. Okay. Then we are going to put some fuse on the underside of these 2 flaps that we have left, the 2 that we didn't cut off. Let's put some fuse on those. And we're going to just fold those up like that. There we go. And what you might find, now this one's worked perfectly, you can't see it, but this one you can see hopefully just a little bit of that flap poking out above our line. So I'm just going to get my scissors in and just trim that off. So we just can't see that, and we get a nice smooth edge there. Okay, then this will hopefully fit perfectly, it does, over our base, and we can stick this flap down on the back, and then we get a nice hinged box. So I'm just going to put fuse along this flap here, like that. And then you can decide which side it is to do. It's going to be, what I find is easiest is to pop the lid onto the box like that, so it pushes and tight at the front, and then just fold over your back and stick that hinge down there. And then you can see that that lifts up nicely, closes up again, and you've got that nice little chamfer detail on the sides. Now we are ready to bring in our 4 little boxes that we made earlier, and these should fit perfectly inside. There we go, should do perfectly. Oh, and the last one will just fit in a little bit tight, but they do just fit in nicely like that. I'm just going to work those in, make sure those are nice and neat together, and then you can see how you get that nice pattern when you open that lid and that little wow factor. What you can do is just squeeze a little bit of Tombow into these joints and along the edges, and that will just stop all of this gaping. I'm not going to do that now, but on my example I did do it. I don't want to spend a lot of time, and you can see you get rid of some of these gapes in the middle, and it's nice and neat. So take a few seconds to do that. It's a different pattern paper in there. I think I prefer the smaller holes, smaller patterns, but you can see what you think. Okay, and then a little bit of decoration. We're going to use, as I said, Christmas quilt and the matching quilt builder framelits. These are fantastic together. I'm not going to do stamping on camera because it is a little bit difficult for me to do that with the camera inside. But basically you can stamp this large shape, this large pattern here, and then you can fill in the gaps using these two stamps, and you get something in the end that looks a bit like this. Just really, really pretty, gives that really quilted look. You can see it on the lid, and underneath here this is obviously cropped out using the dies, and then underneath I've just used another die which you can see gives me this little, very lovely little subtle stitched outline. Here it is. There we go. You can see that lovely stitching, really pretty. So we're going to start by excuse me, sticking our stitched shape down first. There we go. This is the front. I'm just going to stick that on the middle, get that as central and as square as you can. There we go. Then I'm going to use my coordinating Christmas quilt, not Christmas quilt, quilted Christmas ribbon. Now this has got that gorgeous real red and garden green striping. It coordinates perfectly. I'm going to wrap that around the centre of my box. As you can see, you don't really need the ribbon to keep it closed. If you get your dimensions right, it will stay closed very nicely on its own, but it just adds that little bit extra. So I'm just going to tie this closed in a little bow around my box. Pull that tight. There we go. Maybe needs a bit more. I think I've left it a bit short perhaps. There we go. There we go. Hopefully this will be better. You know I love tying bows on camera. It always works out so well. I'll tidy that up. Snip that off. There we go. And then I'm just going to use some dimensionals on the stamped piece. There we go. And that is going to then stick on top. And what I'm going to do is just rotate that slightly and stick that over a piece like that, so you can still just see a little tease of that stitching sticking out. And as I said, I think it needs maybe a sentiment or something over the centre, but you can have a play around with that. But I'm just going to use a pearl just to finish it off for the moment. And there we go, a really cute little box with that extra little wow factor. Put a little truffle in each one of these, some sweeties, a little bit of jewellery. I just think it's a really cute little box. And of course that little chamfer adds something as well. Thanks for watching. Remember, if you do want to buy any Stampin' Up products, you can do that 24/7 at craftycarolinecreates.com. And you can get in touch anytime. It would be my pleasure to help. See you soon. Bye bye.